Previously of episode 1 of Rosebud the Commitment, Brad is getting one-on-one time to meet each lady and see there is a spark or not. First up is Danica. So far it seems to be going well. Oh well, maybe not then. Let's see, the relationship has progressed thus far. Well, it isn't the best, but not the worst either. Brad is already unattracted to Kelly. Alice is socially awkward, so this already isn't going good for her. Looks like the ladies are getting along right off the bat. Danica is not making the best first impression now, is she? Next up is Beatrice. Let's see, are these to hit it off or not? Definitely better than his time with Danica. Oh, I like what I see. Next up is Kelly, who Brad is not even attracted to. Maybe making a meal together will change his initial thoughts. Honestly, it did not in fact change a thing. If anything, it was just extremely awkward. Next up is Alice, whom Brad is attracted to. Looks like Brad is pulling a Danica and completely failing at this first meeting. Maybe Alice wants love with a plant, not a man. But they are chopping it up, so this is a good sign. Not even 24 hours in, and we already have a fire by our bachelor. But not to worry, Danica is coming to the rescue. Just hold tight, Brad, help is on the way. Oh, the drama. Kelly, Beatrice. This is not even about you, calm down. And now they're fighting for only God knows what. You can't take your eyes off these Sims for a minute, apparently. Haha, the fireman is just watching the commotion. Kelly threw them hands and Beatrice couldn't defend herself. Thank God, I noticed the firewoman stuck under the stairs. I rescued her. Now Elna gets her one-on-one time. But it looks like she'd rather hang out with the firewoman. We finally have our first flirt of the season, which can't happen if Eleanor keeps talking to her. So let's take care of that really quick. Next up is London, who I must say is a complete baddie. I love this for them. Our group date today is a pool party. And Danica wasted no time throwing down on the grill. Kelly really is such a pretty sim. Brad, you fool. You have gorgeous women in bikinis all around you, and you'd rather sit poolside, alone, vibing to the music. Get your grub on, ladies. Brad clearly is not interested. Eleanor, fix your face. Why are you so annoyed? Oh, Brad, I have no words. We love a good glitch. Today's challenge is a bike race. Whoever gets to the finish spot first gets a one-on-one date with Brad. Congratulations, Kelly. Beatrice flat out refused to participate in the challenge. The first one-on-one of the season. They're dressed to the nines and ready to go to a rooftop bar known for its romantic environment. They're so cute. Oh no, here comes Agnes. And she's about to crumple bottom poor Brad for showing photos to Kelly. That was very unnecessary, Agnes. Not again. Come on, old lady, give it a rest. This date isn't going very good. But wait, what is this? Okay, well, shake what your mama gave you and let's turn this date around. With Brad being unattracted to Kelly, I did not see this coming. In addition to the bad start of the date, so I am living for this. Our first kiss of the season. Yippee. Before the elimination, each lady gets one sim hour with Brad to potentially boost their relationship with him. It came down to Danica and Beatrice, but since it was so close based on friendship level, Danica had the lowest and will be leaving the house. Thank you for participating in Rosebud the Commitment. So sorry you didn't find love this season. Come watch what unfolds on episode 2 today at noon Eastern Standard Time. Previously on episode 2 of Rosebud, The Commitment. As soon as we began, the chaos meter was filled, and the wheel revealed a fight must take place. The audience picked Beatrice and London as our fighters. This is the second fight Beatrice has been in, and now the second she has lost. The group date was held at the karaoke bar, Planet Honeypop. Immediately, the ladies flocked to the bar for drinks. Almost every sim in the house partook in some poorly sung karaoke. Meanwhile, at the bar, Kelly, London, and Brad are making friendly conversation, with no romance to be found. When Kelly made her way to the karaoke machine, Brad was absolutely loving every second of it. Apparently, Beatrice has her eyes not fully set on the bachelor. Finally, Brad and London have grown their romantic satisfaction, but simultaneously Brad has the want to have his first kiss with Beatrice. Let's make it happen. Honestly, it took a long time to get it to happen, but finally, after a couple of sim hours, they finally had their first kiss. Fishing will determine the woman who gets a one-on-one date. We will add scores from value earned to determine the winner. Eleanor completely refused to participate in today's challenge, hiding herself in the restroom. London earned 60 simoleons, Beatrice earned 38, Alice earned 33, and Kelly earned 28. Congratulations, London, on your first solo date with Brad. This was the most boring date ever at Laguna del Brazo. The cocktail party has begun. The ladies have until the end to try to get their romantic level up with Brad to stay in the house. Eleanor can't be bothered. She'd rather bathe. I'm not sure how their romantic level dropped so low after the group date, but it looks like Beatrice will be leaving the house tonight. Thank you, Beatrice, for participating in Rosebud, The Commitment. Previously on episode 3 of Rosebud, The Commitment, the burglar expected an empty house and a lucrative score. Instead, they were met by Brad, who had come downstairs to ensure the situation was dealt with permanently. Brad lunged forward to subdue the intruder, but the initial scuffle left him overpowered. Refusing to yield, he surged back into the fray for a second attempt, this time emerging the victor. While the group date was in full swing, Alice remained preoccupied, finding the company of the garden more compelling than the festivities at the bowling alley. Inside, Kelly focused her efforts on Brad, even as London and Eleanor kept to themselves. The dynamic shifted when the music started. Brad found himself sidelined as Kelly and London took to the dance floor. Undeterred, Brad set a bold agenda for the evening, a series of first kisses. He began with Kelly, a connection he found himself revisiting, and then moved on to London. Despite a disruptive prank call threatening the mood, Brad's focus didn't waver. Though a kiss from Eleanor proved elusive despite his best efforts, the two managed to share a high-tension, provocative dance. The focus then shifted to Alice. She was to be the next milestone in Brad's ambitious evening of first encounters. Creativity became the currency for today's prize. The ladies were tasked with a medium-sized painting competition, where the highest valued artwork would serve as a ticket to a one-on-one date. Alice's painting was valued at 84 simoleons. London's painting was valued at 57 simoleons. Kelly's was 66 simoleons. Finally, Eleanor at 56 simoleons. Congratulations, Alice, your artistic vision has secured you the exclusive one-on-one date. Tonight's date will be held at the Solar Flare Lounge. With every objective met and the spark between them undeniable, Alice decided to bypass the formalities. She suggested they retreat to Brad's apartment to continue the evening in private. Her proposal Brad met with an enthusiastic yes. The transition from the date to the bedroom felt seamless. Caught up in the electricity of the night, Brad and Alice prepared to take the final step together, officially crowning an unforgettable evening. The physical evidence of his accident was impossible to ignore, but Brad remained unfazed. He had reached his goals with Alice, and even the indignity of urinating on himself couldn't strip him of his win. The cocktail party was intended to provide the ladies with ample opportunity to secure more time with Brad, yet the room felt strangely disconnected. For a while, the bachelor remained surprisingly solitary until he and Alice finally broke the tension, settling in for a quiet midday coffee together. Kelly didn't miss the exchange. Noting the shift in dynamics, she decided it was time to intervene and claim a coffee date of her own with Brad. Tension mounted as Beatrice, whose journey had ended just one elimination prior, appeared at the front door without warning. Despite her arrival, the residents remained unmoved, collectively ignoring the bell in a pointed display of dismissal. The data told a story that Eleanor couldn't rewrite. Looking at the dwindling state of their relationship, it became painfully clear that her time in the competition would reach its conclusion this evening. As she departs, Eleanor moves into the shadow of the house across the way. It is a shared space reserved exclusively for those who failed to secure Brad's heart, where the sting of rejection is the only thing they all have in common. That concludes our time for now. We appreciate you tuning into Rosebud. The Commitment. Don't miss a moment of the drama when we return live today for episode 4. Previously on Rosebud, The Commitment, episode 4. The final 3 women get an overnight vacation with our bachelor Brad. The Sulani getaway began with Alice, who secured the first private escape with Brad. They started the afternoon by taking in the breathtaking island views, but it wasn't long before their attention shifted entirely to one another. In the heat of the tropics, they wasted no time deepening their connection, diving straight into a moment of pure intimacy. Their time in Sulani continued with a perfect beachside date, centered on fine dining and undeniable romance. But the real twist came when Alice suggested moving the party behind closed doors. Expecting a private island villa, we were stunned when the scene shifted all the way back to the main estate in Newcrest. Newcrest might not be Sulani, but for Brad and Alice, the backdrop didn't matter. They wasted no time picking up right where they left off. It's clear that for this couple, home isn't a place, it's each other. There's something about cooking breakfast together that just hits different. For Brad and Alice, this morning was all about soaking up the quiet moments and solidifying their bond before the reality of the competition called them back. The heat of Sulani is officially a memory. We're heading to the mountains for Brad's next encounter. And this time, it's London's turn to see if she can melt the ice in Mt. Komoribi. Before diving into the high-stakes drama, the pair opted for something a bit more traditional. Their attempt at building a snow pal wasn't just about the finished product. It was about the playful chemistry that only a winter wonderland can inspire. After the excitement in the snow, Brad and London dialed it back. Choosing a game of chess, they leaned into the stillness of the day. It's in these hushed moments, away from the cameras and the noise, where their chemistry really begins to speak. London isn't playing safe anymore. The chemistry between her and Brad reached a boiling point at the Mt. Komoribi bathhouse, where the pair decided to risk it all for a public encounter in the steam. This definitely wasn't on the official itinerary. After a thrilling escapade, it was time for some wholesome mountain air. Brad and London took on the slopes as first-timers, proving that their chemistry works just as well on a snowboard as it does in a hot spring. It's not about the skill, it's about the company. Brad really wanted to impress London with his cooking skills, but he ended up almost burning the rental house down. Thankfully, London was there to play hero. Nothing says unforgettable date quite like a kitchen fire and a near-death experience before coffee. Talk about a dramatic exit. The final getaway is with Kelly at Innisgreen. Absence clearly made the heart grow fonder for Brad and Kelly. Their fairy home rental was less about the activities and more about the connection. They spent hours simply chatting it up in the garden, proving that sometimes the best date is just finally being heard. Expectations were high for Kelly and Brad, but the reality was underwhelming. The day was filled with polite small talk and mild flirting, but the chemistry was missing in action. Without any real romance or even a hint of a woo-hoo moment, both walked away feeling like this date was a swing and a miss. In a shocking turn of events, the stats have spoken. Despite their steamy mountain getaway, London and Brad's connection just didn't have the depth to survive. Brad officially pulled the plug on their romance, delivering the final blow. London is headed straight to the reject house. The mountain high is over, and the come down is brutal. London, thank you for your time on Rosebud, The Commitment. While your journey with Brad ends here, we appreciate the energy you brought to the house and wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors. Previously on the finale of Rosebud, The Commitment, for the final group date, Alice, Brad and Kelly retreated to the islands for one last moment of unity. Seeking quality time, they dove into the see-through tides of the tropical paradise. But the tranquility was short-lived. as a fight erupted among the locals right on the sand. It was unexpected, but for this household, it was just another day at the office. Brad pulls Kelly aside, wondering if this is their final moment together. Rushing back to the house, Brad catches Alice for a final heart-to-heart. The meter doesn't lie. After comparing the connections, Brad finally sees his future clearly. Only one woman has captured his heart entirely, and her name is Alice. Brad shifts his status with Kelly to friends, finally choosing the connection that has never wavered. The romantic spark he tried to find just couldn't compare to the pull he feels toward Alice. With one final, painful conversation, he ends it for good, choosing to follow his heart once and for all. The reject house wasn't the destination Kelly imagined, but she isn't arriving empty-handed. She's taking this walk with her head held high. She leaves with true friendships that mean more than any rose. Kelly's romantic chapter with Brad is over, but her own story is just beginning. Wasting not a single second more, Brad rushes back to the one who's had his heart since day one. He doesn't want another day to pass without her knowing where he stands. It's time to make it official. He asks Alice to be his girlfriend. Brad spent his whole life avoiding forever, until he met Alice. In her, he found the piece he never knew was missing. He can't wait another second, and he won't settle for just being a boyfriend. Right here, right now, he's making the ultimate commitment. He drops to one knee to ask Alice the biggest question of their lives. Will you marry me? Alice replied with an astounding yes. The two are absolutely smitten with one another and ready to build a life together. Finally at their new home together, merely minutes after the proposal, the chaos meter was tripped, bringing a familiar face back into the fold. Brad and Alice are so deep in their engagement bliss that Kelly's arrival is just a peaceful visit from an old friend. On cloud nine, the couple proves that when the love is real, the chaos doesn't stand a chance. To solidify this next step in their relationship, Brad and Alice head off for a celebratory woohoo. Rosebud, the commitment. Season 1 ends here with a ring, a promise, and the love that was worth every high and every low. Their forever starts now.